We have a clothesline for our Avion camper, and when we made that, we had a bag style lawn chair that was broken and needed to be thrown away. So we saved the bag from that and we store the clothesline in it. I don't have a chair that needs to be thrown away right now, so I don't have an empty bag. So I'm going to make a carrier holder for the new clothesline we made for our Casita camper. I'm going to use an old pair of jeans. So I've cut the pair of jeans in half here at the crotch, and then it's wider than it needs to be. So I'm going to make sure it is smooth everywhere. So I'm going to measure 8 inches from the seam over here, from the edge. I have it folded over in half, so it's really not from the seam. From the edge, I'm going to measure 8 inches. And I'm going to make some marks. And it'll be okay that I'm using a pin because I'm going to end up cutting right along those lines. And I'm going to cut right along those lines there. And then since I did it from the outside edge, that gets rid of all this fly area here. I don't really want to have that in my bag. I don't want the pockets to have anything fall in them or accumulate dirt in them. So I'm going to sew up the pockets right along the stitching line here. I'll just choose one of those stitching lines. I'm going to make sure that this pocket is flat on the back. And then I'm going to sew it also right along the stitching line to sew it closed. So I just did my seam right along the current stitching line here. And I also, there was a little hole here, so I did a little zigzag stitching right there to try to close the hole up. I'm going to take this extra pocket material and cut it off. We don't need that. Now I'm going to fold it in half lengthwise, right sides together, and I want to line up the top part of it. On these, the top and the bottom is probably not going to line up exactly, so I want the top to be what lines up. And that way when I get all done, this will be the top of my bag and it will be already finished. I don't have to worry about a hem or anything like that. So I'm going to pin it together. Got a little bit of a hole here, so I'm going to make sure when I sew that I sew on the inside of that hole. So you can see when I get down here to the end, it doesn't match up. It's because the back side of the jeans is bigger than the front side. So what I'm going to do then is measure my pipes. This one is the longest of my pipes. I want to have a little bit of room up here to put a piece of Velcro to close it, but I don't need this entire length at the bottom. So I want to allow a little bit of room for seam allowance down here at the bottom. So I have this edge lined up with one of the lines on my cutting mat here. So I'm going to line this up So I'm going to sew a 5/8 inch seam along here and along here, and then I'll leave the top open. I actually wasn't sure if I'd be able to sew over that pocket, but it worked all right, and I was able to sew just on the inside of this little hole here. So now if you wanted, you could serge these edges. I'm going to just use my pinking shears. If you don't have pinking shears, it might unravel a little bit on the inside, but it will still be very usable. Even if you don't have pinking shears, it's a good idea to clip this corner here at an angle. It helps it turn, and you don't want to clip into the stitching, just to get fairly close to it. And then this up here is just too hard to use the pinking shears, so I'll leave that. And then I'm going to turn it right side out. Try a pipe in there to see how it fits. So it's all the way at the bottom, and I've got that much room. So now I'm going to add the Velcro. So I've got this black Velcro. It's a sew-on Velcro. I'm going to use it. I think it will show the dirt less than if I used the white Velcro. So I'm going to sew one piece on this side and then the other on this side. And I'm trying to decide if I want to sew over my belt loops. I think I will. I don't think I'm going to hang it from my belt loop anyway. When I sew Velcro on, I sew all the way around the Velcro on all four sides of it. So I did sew over these belt loops, but still got a little bit of a belt loop if you wanted to hang it from a belt loop. If you wanted to hang it, you could add a loop here and make a hanger. There you go. Now this will be easy to throw in the car or keep it in the camper. I'm probably going to store ours in our closet of the casita.